Welcome back. Episode 2 here with MDawg. Got a little bit of time left on that bleak order, so we are going to try to get it. Bleak are not active at night for the most part, so we're starting this episode sort of first thing in the morning. See if we can't get lucky on this, finishing off this bleak order, maybe even seeing a marker or two. That would be nice. The main goal here is just to try to earn some silver. After we get the bleak, I think we'll go back to Mosquito. Fish a little more in our spot over there. Mix up baits a little bit, see how we can do over there as well. Alright, so first of all on the feeder, I did notice there was still a couple of orders for Chinese sleeper. It is early enough that we could I actually think I want to start off with maggots right from the start here. And what's our depth? Yeah, 1 meter. We'll try to hit sleeper or something on that one. Main goal here is, though, can we get a 5th bleak? It is so nice when you get enough silver to not, like I said before, get your multiple feeders going, but also just get some like hook size options. And once you get a little higher level, you start to have more options for hook sizes. So I realized after last episode, we probably have a couple of skill points. Let's go ahead and finish off getting to level 3 on making ground bait. And then I know we're going to do a lot of bottom fishing. So let's talk about what I would prioritize first in as you get points. If you're going to do a lot of feeder fishing early on, I would go ahead and start putting points in fishing with a feeder rod and points in using a spinning reel. This is going to help you cast farther, more accurately. This one's going to do the same with casting. It's also going to give you more control of the fish. So if anything, I would prioritize that first. We're going to do more bottom fishing than spin or float, so we will start there. But the same thing over here, before you start putting points in rigs, which does help a little bit in the quality of fish you're catching, you first want to have control of the fish. So again, and this one, using a spinning reel, does go across all categories. So that's the benefit of that. But our first point, I'm going to put fishing with a feeder rod. We might actually go back and forth on points in these two for now. And now we wait and hope. I know we don't have much silver. We've got 12. It might have been worth getting another size 20 hook for our feeder. It's going to be level 8 before we can use 24s anyway. That might be worth it because it's such a small amount of silver, but we'll see. I'm guessing it won't be this episode, but next episode we may try to focus on trying to hit some rough at Mosquito, because those rough orders are just so good. I was just too slow. That was a bite, but I just didn't get to it fast enough. I like to kind of chill sometimes while I'm fishing. Float fishing doesn't always work with that, because you do have to be on it when that bite hits. Bloodworms does not seem to be doing the job. The only reason why I started with bloodworms on the feeder was because of how early in the morning it was. I was thinking maybe we'd get a sleeper or something, a couple sleepers real quick, but We might have just been better off going with worms. But let's just go ahead and switch. Oh, man. Okay, this is such a good example. I wish I could go back in time and look at this whole process. So our feeder, our cage that holds the feed, was stuck on the bottom there. And I had to increase our friction brake to get enough power. We don't have that much power. We've got a tiny little reel, tiny little line. And so because of not having power, we weren't able to pull the cage off the bottom. Sometimes when that happens to a new player, they think that they have gotten what's called a ghost snag. They think that their line is stuck on the bottom, that there's nothing they can do, and they have to relog and, reset the map to get it off. It's almost never an actual ghost snag. It's usually what you just saw me have to do. Point your rod down low, increase your friction brake to 29 or whatever you need to, and reel it in and get it unstuck off the bottom. That is normally what's happening. I think that's a bleak. Crap. Sorry for my frustration there, but it just happened so quick. I think it's a bleak, though. Yes. That should be it. We've got our order done. So now we can just sit here another couple minutes, but we are good. That's the second time we've missed the bite on our little bamboo rod. Alright, so we wanted to switch this over to worms, I guess. Worms probably, out of the baits we have, catches the widest variety of of fish here. Arguably, bread might be just as good, but we'll try worms for now. Alright, we did it. We got our bleak. So excited that we got that pretty painlessly. And if we had a smaller hook, it would just even be easier. So I think that's 20 silver we get for that order. It's crazy. Those 5 bleak are worth nothing. But because of that cafe order, we get a nice stack of 20 coins. First episode isn't even full finished uploading yet, but figured we'd go ahead and get the second episode done. This one may release like a few hours from now, but go ahead and get this one done, and then I'll try to at least work on an episode a day for the next couple days. Days that I stream, I may not get as many episodes done, but we'll try to stay on top of it pretty well. Alright. Okay, this is an example. People will think that they are ghost snagged. Now, if you are ghost snagged, there's nothing you can do to get it off. You just end up having to change maps or relog or whatever. This, I'm almost certain, is not a ghost snag. It's because of the low power of our rig and the fact of the way that the bottom works. Those cages will get stuck, or sinkers will get stuck on the bottom. You just have to very carefully get them unstuck. We might have to lock up the reel here. There you go. There it is. Just be careful if you lock the reel. Don't want to break anything, but you just have to get some force to get it off the bottom. It gets stuck behind little rocks and little places on the bottom, and you need some power, some force to get it up and off. Alright, let's grab that order before it disappears. We had plenty of time, though. So there it is. 1 second. Okay. So sorry about that. Like I said, sometimes work stuff does come up. That was going to be a quick situation, so I knew it wasn't going to pull me away for long, and so I didn't want to totally scrap our progress here, but I apologize for the long silence there. We have been able to find bleak out here as well, which this is kind of exciting. We can do this for another minute or two, see if we get a marker, but let's go ahead and do this for this while we have the cafe order. So you can always sort it by weight, and then if you hold down shift, we know we need 5 pieces, so 3, 4, 5. If you hold down shift, you can select the 5 lightest ones and then sell those, and we've got 20 silver for 5 bleak that would have been worth nothing otherwise, right? So, but I am excited to see that the bleak are also, they seem to be active down here, which is not always the case. I have done leveling series in the past where this was an amazing spot to catch bleak, but it can sometimes be pretty quiet down here. But we've gotten a couple, so let's just see before we move back to Mosquito if we can't find us a marker bleak on maggots here. These quick bites, you see how there's no nibble? It's just immediate. That's usually going to be dace or bleak. So 189 experience, that is a marker dace. Leveling up our float fishing. Catching some dace. The question will be, are we catching anything on our feeder? That could be a downside of this spot, is if the feeder is not active. We could try putting it in some different locations. Typically, if you cast south from here, you can catch perch spin fishing. I don't know on feeders how active the perch would be, or even if we want to necessarily catch perch on our little feeder rod. That could be a little annoying, but we did get something here. So it looks like just the regular... Oh, that is a perch. Yeah, there's a lot of perch down here. That might be what we see primarily. Let's kind of cast it this way this time. I bet we'll see another perch, if anything. So we're just casting straight off this little mini docker. Which this was not in until they redid winding. You didn't have this. You were just casting from the shore in this spot. So it's kind of cool. That's a bleak. That's a bleak. We still haven't seen a marker bleak, which is just weird. I think it's just because we don't have the exact right hook size, and at least here at Winding right now, it might be a little harder to find the bleaks that are the right size for without fly. It also could just be random. I would say we could try a thinner line, but if we hit a big roach or an eyed or something, we're going to be struggling already, even with the line we do have. Oh, I knew we were going to have to chase it there, and yeah, we messed it up. It's fine. So funny. It's so funny. Let's cast this in and then try to grab this feeder real quick. We could miss a bite, but oh my goodness. It's a big perch. If it's a perch, it's a marker. I'll tell you that. 475. We're about to miss a bite. Yeah, and that's a bleak too. You can tell from how far it went, how quickly it went under there. It's probably going to nibble again, though. Yeah, we're good. Oh, it's a dace. Again, small. Small, small, small. A lot of strong opinions being... you're level 25, so a lot of strong opinions being stated in chat. It's fine. It's, we all have opinions. If you're curious, my opinion about the new river, Yama, is twofold. One, I would say I am having a ton of fun spin fishing there. I think it is a great map. I have had a lot of fun. I've made some decent silver, but the main thing I would just say is the experience of fishing there has been great. If you're completely focused on how much silver you can make, no, it is not. It is not the same. So far, it is not the same silver per hour potential that something like Tunguska was when it first came out. Oh, that's a marker. So look at that XP. Just kind of keep that in your mind based on other fish we're catching. I'm guessing 354 is going to be a lot. I'm guessing 354 is going to be a lot. We'll have to keep that. I think that's a good comparison point. The other thing I would say about Yama, though, is that it's impossible to separate Yama from the idea that many of us suspect that fly fishing was going to be a part of Yama. And, of course, that ended up not happening. And if fly fishing does come to the game, then, yes, Yama might be even more fun. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I'm already having fun there now. So, for what it's worth, that's my opinion. So 7 Quicksilver, not bad. Not bad. The big winner was that bleak order that we were able to turn in for 20. We're up to 40 silver. I kind of want to go ahead and get a 24 size hook. And I just think, even though we're not high enough level to use it yet, getting one of these makes sense right now. I also think getting a second 20 is good, and then a 6 and a 4. You just want to start having some hook options. All right, we're going to go try some stuff at Mosquito. So the other thing we're going to get, and we're going to try to not overspend on baits here, but we want to try peas and we want to try wheat seeds. By the way, you can eventually craft these, but you can also get them in the store. Okay, let's go back to Mosquito, see if we can't get into some trouble here. Now, can we make common roach mix? I believe we can. We need bloodworm and caramel. Let's test it. Always look at the cafe just to see what's going on. Yeah, this rough order is going to be gone because, I mean, overnight's not here yet. So nothing that exciting. Stuff we might accidentally get, but nothing we can count on necessarily. Okay, what did we say? Bloodworm. And caramel. So I'm assuming that ground crackers was the main ingredient. Let's make 1 stack of roach mix. 9 out of 10. See the quality? 3 points is enough to, on average, make pretty decent stuff. Okay. So this rig, we're going to go with a 6 hook, and we're going to try wheat seeds and common roach mix. We want to do our friction break way down. If we hook into an eyed here, it could be painful. And then we'll try peas as well. So what do we want to do here? Not maggots, probably not 20. Let's go to 16 and bread or worms. Let's go worms. And let's go down to 80 centimeters. Now, just for fun, let's see if we can catch anything on this. So we sort of need to be able to see our float. So there is no current here. I kind of feel like that means we might want to do a little bit faster retrieval speed, but I'm not sure. Let's try different things. This was 18. Let's try like 21 next time. And we'll go this way. We can still see that float. Having a hard time getting speed up right now for some reason. It is much harder to spin fish on Mosquito than it is winding. But the other alternative is just throwing out that bamboo stick, which we can do, but I thought we'd give this a couple of casts first. You literally never know till you try. So I think we have a fish on, but I'm wrong. All right, let's go this way and then look back at our float. So that float's just not doing anything, is it? We expect the feeder rod to be a little slow because we're kind of trying to target eyed. But that float shouldn't be necessarily any slower than normal. Maybe we try bread. Lean into the crucian gibbles. Ooh. We actually got a fish over here. Alright. Got a perch. Is that the best line we have? So funny. Alright, let's try it again. Okay. Whatever is happening here, it's not working. Let's go to 1 meter depth. Let's go to bread. Get it a little farther out here. And we will try bloodworm on this one. It's also at 1 meter, which is fine. Is this the grocery store right over here? I can't remember. Nope. Around the corner, isn't it? Let's just buy some bread here. Need to make some more bread. And then one day we're gonna have to find the admin. I think it's that building at the end. We do need a map for Mosquito. Again, I hate to spend silver, but there's just so much early on that you need to get. Admin might be on this side. Perfect timing. What's up, sleeper? All right. You like to see that. That is the perfect species for us to be catching on that little bamboo rod. 3 silver. All right. Try to not spend any more. Less spending, more catching. All right. So, wheat seeds, we will try again at night. Peas, let's try now. And we have a fish on again. Big boy roach. So I guess notice the XP. That little bleak marker was 3 something. This is 137. So bleak seem to be really good fish for XP. But remember, what we need at this point is silver. What size hook do we have on here? 16? I'm trying to figure out why our float is suddenly so slow. I don't really get it. Yeah, this is not okay. It's too slow. And it shouldn't be that slow. 20 is small, but let's just see if we can get some action. I think that was a sleeper again, which would have been nice. No nibble, just pretty quick bite. Yeah, so this just isn't working at all right now. I guess the hook size is a little big, even for big roach. 6 is probably pushing it a little bit. We might should have gone with like 8 or 10. I'm impressed with these sleepers. Yeah, what I'm really shocked about is this, though. Just how slow this has been. That is some strange business there. Alright, now we're getting a bite. So all we did was move it farther right, which is probably a good move, and also we went the depth of 1.2 instead of 1.0 even. At least we're getting a nibble now. I want to sort of see if peas are going to work here at all, so let's... The highest hook size we have that's not way big is 14, so let's just kind of experiment with this. Peas might not be active right now for roach. Typically, I've had some really good success on roach farms with peas, but before you get pearl barley. I mean, once you get pearl barley, it's typically the better, a really good bait for roach and bream and other stuff, but we can see the map now. I didn't even notice. How long's that been under? A while, probably. That little feather float, I just sort of like, I lose focus and it disappears from my vision. Finally, we got a fish over on the float. And we're getting a nibble on the feeder, so let's see what that is. Still a little early to go back to wheat seeds and trying to target eyed, but uh-oh. Alright. Oof. Are we stuck here? Alright, so we want to pick this one up. That'll get us unstuck. I think we have a fish on feeder as well. Obviously we need to reset that feather float, but yeah, there's definitely a fish over here. I'm going to guess it's a roach, but we'll see. Nope, it's a crucian on peas. Okay. Color me confused. I'm going to go worm for a little bit. And did the nibble go away, or are we still getting nibbled on the second rod, our main telescopic rod? Something is killing the bloodworms. I guess roach and sleepers have just been great. Three nibbles at the same time. But how many will we be able to bring in? got one. Barely. That's a big old roach. Another roach. And this is probably crucian gibble with as long as it's been nibbling. Or it could be a roach. This is our biggest fish yet. Nice size roach. So I don't know if you could tell there, but it went from a nibble to a bite the moment it started bouncing up and down aggressively. That was the transition. Alright, so what we want to do, it's getting to be evening. Let's go with our really small hooks and worms. Let's see if we can sit this thing right on the ground. Let's see if 1.5 has it sideways. In other words, that's too deep. It should be, but we'll see. Yeah, it's too deep. Let's make sure if we cast a little farther, it's still too deep. Ooh, that's close. Is it touching the ground? It is. That's about right then. Alright, so let's go 20, worm, and let's see, 1.45 on this one. It's going to be hard to get it quite as far out, so try that. Now this could be a little slow on the feeder. Just want to see if we can get any kind of action going on the wheat seeds. It's hard to tell the bites when the floats are like that. We might back it up to 1.45 or 4.2 or something like that on this one, and maybe even more so on the feather. Let's see if that's a bite. Yep, it is. See, I couldn't tell. So we want to be careful with that. Oof, fat roach. All right, so let's go for 2. It should sit sideways pretty nicely. And this is a fish on, and I just never knew it. This is what we're trying to catch, folks. This is the whole strat that we have going right now. Put it right on the bottom with as small hooks as you got with worms. Try to find the rough. See if we can duplicate it. Now it looks like that's almost sitting up completely straight, so we might want to go back down a 0.01 or something. Just a little bit deeper on that one. This one's still too deep. I can't see anything. Can't see what's going on at all on the feather. Is that a rough? Yes. Alright, so we're going to go 0.44. And again, we still cannot see a thing. It's not going to help us if we can't see it at all. So 18. And we just didn't cast this one far enough that time. Alright, this should be good on both. We can see a little bit of movement now. We might want to cast the second one, the middle one, the bigger float, a little bit farther right. I did not know if rough would be here in this spot, but it appears it's like they are, at least to a degree, which means we could probably get them on feeder here as well. But we don't have any more size 20 hooks. Too bad. All right, cast a little farther right. Yeah, it's just too, you can tell the farther right you are, the more shallow it is. So if we're gonna go, we kind of want to go right in front of us in this spot on this one. Is that good? Yeah, that should be good. Now we've got it just about right. It's still maybe a little too sideways. I guess we back up the weight a little bit. It's already getting a nibble, I think. And you can see if a fish takes off with it, you're going to see that bite. Oh, I thought for a second there, I thought that was a stinking rough, which that would have been a potential record-breaking rough there. That was a big boy, but it was a perch. So we've got 2 rough. I think this is a roach. Oh, it's a crucian. Holy cow. Big old crucian. Uh-oh, we did it again. So our feet are in the water, which kind of keeps us from moving. If you keep trying to move, you will sometimes just come unstuck. The other thing you do, if you're near a rod, hit your rod number to pick that up. You'll teleport to where that rod is, which will get you unstuck. So far, no fish on the wheat seeds, unfortunately. Really at a disadvantage with our float laying sideways like that. But you do want it scraping the bottom, especially on float, to try to entice those rough. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. 155 experience. Nice marker rough. Let's go take a peek. I know one of those rough orders was bouncing off, but the other one was on there for a little bit. We've only gotten, what, 3? So we probably need 5 for the one that's left. But we only have 2 that's big enough. We might not get there unless we embrace it on the feeder rod as well. Spend a little to try to make a little, I guess. Let's see if the rough's biting on feeder as well here. Is there any movement there, or is that just... Yeah. Please be a rough. Yeah. It's big enough too. We might actually do this. Oh, what's been gnawing on my bait? A roach. We're getting some good fishing in here. Alright. We're going to have to save our eyed experiments for a time that we have more feeder rods to really play with stuff. Alright. How are the rough on feeders in this spot? See, I was expecting to have to go maybe off the dock or somewhere else for rough, but we found a little spot here where they're actually biting a little bit, so... But the question is, can we get them on feeder here? Because that's really what you want to be able to do. If you can get a good spot for rough on feeder, you can be in good shape. Especially for those double cafe orders. Knock it out real quick and make a ton of silver for your level. So 1, 2, 3, we need 5. We need 2 more. This feels like one of those we're going to get 4 and might not be able to get the 5th one. I hope not, but... That's not a rough, is it? You know, that back and forth there, that we might could have hooked it there. Gonna give it a little bit longer on the feeder. If we don't get any activity at all, I don't know. I think we're gonna throw it somewhere else. At least the feeder. We might come throw it off of this dock. Maybe out this way. We can't get on that boat. I actually think one of the spots might be from over here. Just cast it as far as you can right there, but that's a little bit of a ways to haul back and forth from this other spot, so I don't know. Really? Huh. Okay. Yeah, it's just been too long for the feeder. Now we could try putting it like more in the middle where we're getting the bites on the float, but I just don't know that this is the ideal spot to catch the rough on feeder, but we'll try it. Give it another couple minutes and then we'll move this location for the feeder at least. All right. That should be a rough, right? Nope. Interesting. We got 10 types of fish on float. What is happening right now? Oh, what will this be? Could it be a rough? I feel like if we could get one rough on feeder, we might just get lucky with one more on float. Oh, it's big enough too. Oh my goodness, we're so close. Something's nibbling forever though. That's not a rough. Okay. We're going to try it. All we got to do is hook into one, right? So if we don't hear the bite, that's okay. We'll come down and check it every once in a while. We want to step out onto this boat. Remove the clip. Cast it this way as far as we can. Set it down. Tighten it up. Go check on our rods. No, let me off the boat, please. Sun's coming up. Rough are going to get a little bit harder to catch, but they can still be active on into the morning for sure, so we still have a chance here. How many rough have we caught on this little on this little one? We've done okay on this thing. It's good for catching little fish like rough. I think this one's like not deep enough again. We've got it farther to the left now. Oh, that's going to be too deep, right? Yeah. Let's not get crazy. All right, that'll work. We'll make it work. You can hear the bells pretty far off, but I'm not sure about this far off. Oh, nice quick bite. Shoot. Thought that was a rough. Thought we were going to hit it. I don't hear anything. I'm trying to see how tight the line is. I don't know. Yeah, we've got something, I believe. Yep. Oh, this could be a rough. This could be a rough. Rough or white bream, most likely. Looks like a rough to me. It looks rough to me. Oh my goodness, that's it. That's the cafe order, isn't it? Oh, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm literally stuck. Oh, thank goodness. You can get unstuck sometimes, even without the rod trick, but it's dicey. It's dicey at best. Anything going on here? Oh, another big rough. So nice. I don't know why this one just stopped. I don't know. Couldn't get the right depth on the middle one. Okay. Whew. First of all, let's look at this. Just look at the rough. Are they worth anything without cafe orders? Yes, they're okay. They're okay. Farming rough is not the worst thing in the world. But this is what you want, the cafe orders. 28 silver for these 5 rough. We're back into some money, and those rough orders will pop quite frequently. We got this order done too, 7.55 silver. We're rolling in the dough. Rolling in it. What is this worth? 8 silver, not that much, not that big of a deal. All right, did we make anything with everything else? Yeah, 18 more silver. Very lucrative session here. 58 silver. Guess what, folks? Let's go spend some silver. We're going to now be able to use 2 feeder rods and 1 float or spin. Our decision either way. All right, let's go to feeder. Once again, we're going to get the cheap one. Now we are going to need to get a reel. Let's get the small spark. 3 kilo spark. And we'll get some cheap line. 3.1 line. And we need a cheap feeder, 30 gram. And a cheap bite alarm. Let's set it up. Whatever hook we want on there. So now we'll have 2 feeders and 1 float. So let's get this, take it apart so we have access to that hook. And we are suddenly in a much better position. We're also almost level 8, so we can use that hook, the 24 hook, to really target those small fish. Very good. Okay, we did well. It really came together there. So one good session there with a couple of cafe orders, and all of a sudden we have our second feeder put together. So we can now go double feeder. It also opens up the possibility of going to winding and fishing feeder in the main river, catching occasional fish that way, and then getting our little spinning rod out, trying to catch a couple of like chub or perch or pike or asp or whatever on the main river. So just opens up a lot of possibilities when you can start getting your feeders, and we definitely want to get one more as well. Okay, so this will be episode 2. Thank you all for watching. This ended up being really fun once we could get on those rough. That was cool to try to figure those out and even catch them on float there right across the bottom. So as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace out.